Almost everything in Geometry Dash has a purpose, so by scrolling through the entire game, it's hard to come across something that has no purpose whatsoever. I, however, found more than 50 things in Geometry Dash that literally are useless, making you wonder why they exist in the first place. Before we start, however, make sure to subscribe, because at 200k subscribers, I'll change my profile picture to a sheep. Enjoy! We'll start off simple with our first useless thing, rotating an orb. Orbs are perfectly circular, so if you rotate them, not much will happen. It will stay exactly the same the entire time. 2. If you ever feel useless, remember the monster at the start of the sewers, the second tower level. Nothing will change once this little guy is deleted, since you can't even die to it. And even if you could, you would have died in this asset either way. 3. In the latest update, a new level called Dash has been added. For the most part, the decoration looks really good, and there's nothing weird about it, right? Well, if we go back in the level a bit to the robot part, when zooming in, we can see something odd. A random white object that RobTop forgot to delete, serving zero purpose in the game. The most known useless thing is the More Games button. When clicking on it, no games are shown, and this has been the case for the last couple of years. Even back in 2014, it had more use, since RobTop still had his games Boomlinks and Mastermind online. You can play Geometry Dash on PC, mobile and on your iPad. Let's go to our PC for a bit. On mobile and iPad, it's hard to close Geometry Dash sometimes, and luckily there's a button in the top left corner of the title screen in order to close the game. On PC, however, this button serves less of a purpose, since people can just click on the close button on the game with their mouse. Nobody can share an empty level with zero objects, obviously. Like, we would see thousands of levels in GD that would just be empty. Nobody likes that. Well, you can still do that. By adding a single trigger which is invisible to people, your level still is empty and uploadable to the servers since there's one object in it, making this rule a bit worthless. 7. The legendary and mythic buttons don't do anything. If you select them and click on the search bar, you'll just see random featured levels, not just legendary and mythic levels as the option suggests. This level called 3 stars is very sneaky. When opening it, the level tells you that the creator found a glitch, so you'll get 1,000,000 stars if you like the level and rate it the hardest difficulty, Demon. A lot of people fell for this trick when looking at the amount of likes, and obviously it doesn't work. 9. On another level named Crazy Ball, there is something odd going on. But instead of entering the level, we should take a look at the song. The title says Party are Ikening, which doesn't make any sense. When we go check the original song name out, you can see that the name is originally called Party are Igang, which means the party is on in Swedish. But because RobTop disabled special characters in the game, the title of the song became useless. The next one is incredibly weird. Upon the release of my new merch, someone liked it so much that they remade the merch in Geometry Dash. Look at all the builds, wow. Since they are so pixely though, it's a bit useless, which is why you should check it out in real life. Look at these gorgeous hoodies, shirts and mugs, wow. If you want to buy this fire merch, click on the QR code or the link in the description. On to number 11. Okay, open GD, go to your icons and move towards the 60-second cube, the Lenny icon. On the surface it looks normal and like nothing special, but wait, zoom in a little. On the right side of the cube, there's one pixel sticking out for no reason. What? 12. My first time covering Skibidi Toilet on this channel, guys. I'm sorry. But our 13th fact is about a user named SkibidyHater9223. When you check out his username, nothing seems weird. So what's wrong with his profile? It all becomes clear when checking out his comments. All his comments say the same thing. Skibidi Toilet sucks. Bruh. He made more than 1,000 comments like this saying the exact same thing over and over, and the purpose of it remains unknown. Probably just to troll people. Default is not useless in itself, but it does have a useless feature. There are codes you can type that do not give an icon or color, but are official codes implemented by RobTop. They're just there for the sake of being there. Trails can make your icon 10 times cooler by putting a nice effect behind the player. This works for the cube, ship, bowl, UFO, and not the wave game mode. When using a trail behind your wave, it will be overshadowed by a thick line. Is useless. Just like a feature in Geometry Dash Lite, the free Geometry Dash version. It's nothing special for the most part, except if we move to the parental controls. In the full version of Geometry Dash, the parental controls can disable comments, accounts, and only allow feature levels, which is logical. But in Geometry Dash Lite, you don't have online levels, on which you can see these comments and featured levels. So why do they exist if there's nothing they do? I got a little too mad, but we need to move on. By searching for a username in GD, you can scroll to the right even though usernames are unique, and there can only be one of them. So why more than one page exists is a mystery. 17. The background trigger can change the background, which is super obvious. So obvious in fact that the help button mocks you for clicking on it. The most useless list in the entire game is one named My Least Favorite Levels. First of all, it is just one level. Second of all, what did Retray do to you? It's one of the most basic levels in the entire game. There's not a big difference between searching for Retray on this list or searching it in the search bar. Nothing would change if this list got deleted. This white block in the 5th section of the first editor category is the exact same thing as the first object in the 5th category. Put them side by side and change the second block to white, and if you're able to tell me the difference between them, I'll give you $1 million. 20. Feature levels normally have a glow ring around the difficulty phase and stars below that phase to show how many stars you obtain from beating that level. RobTop forgot to add stars to Nonsense World level 12 though, so even though it is featured, you won't get anything from it. Beating it is useless. If you are below the rank 1,033,367 like me, the global leaderboard makes no sense. You always stay below Carrot Master, who is 501 stars, even though you're actually a way lower rank when checking out your profile. Leaderboards for platformer levels are a really cool addition to the game, if they work. You now always see something named Hacker123 on the top who beat an XL level in 1 second. And this happens on almost every single level, sadly. 23. Did you know that you can click on the RobTop button on the bottom left of the title screen? It leads you to this website that consists of random names of games he made, and it doesn't serve a purpose, since you can't click on anything. It also has some visual bugs that never got changed. At the right of the search option is an X button, which deletes your ID. While it does have a use, it's probably quicker to just turn back to the title screen and re-enter the search menu. Instead of a useless thing, let's switch it up a little by talking about the most useless Geometry Dash fact I was able to find on the entire internet. I found this post saying, give me a useless fact about Geometry Dash, and most answers were pretty standard. Until I found the following one. XO has more objects than Erebus and Black Blizzard. Both of these levels look like they contain tens of thousands of objects, and XO just looks like a simple layout. I don't know how it has so many objects, but it is a pretty useless fact indeed. Back to Dash. Not only does it have a useless white object, it also has a blue portal in front of the spider portal. Why is that weird though, you may ask? Well, a blue portal changes your gravity back to how it normally is, but in this level, before entering the blue portal, you already are in normal gravity. The level won't change when deleting this portal, making it worthless. 27. The first user comment in Geometry Dash. It must be made by RobTop or another notable person, right? And it definitely contains a special message. No. The first message says J-Day, J-Day, K-Day, K-Day. A truly beautiful message. Okay, the funniest and best account I've ever seen is this guy called Only When I Poop. This 42-year-old guy doesn't have time to play Geometry Dash except when on the toilet, where he grinds out levels like nobody else. All his comments on his levels are related to crap. And my favorite one is this one, where he played a level when taking a dookie. Oh my goodness, this guy's dedicated to his toilet game. Someone called Bloodbather334 did one of the most useless things I've ever seen. He created a list with all rated levels in the game, resulting in his list containing more than 30,000 levels. Why? Nobody knows. In the game sheets you can see every single asset used in GD. From coins to blocks, you can find more than 1,000 unique objects. There are a couple unused objects in some of these sheets though. Here you have a trailer button, a to button and an OF button, which I have no clue of what it does. They've been used prior in the game, but don't exist anymore. Bruh. A level that's literally called useless is an impossible math level, where even if you get the answer right, you need to straight fly through extremely tight corridors, which looks horrendous to play. The parental controls are stupid in Geometry Dash Lite, but right now I can't lie that it also is worthless in the full version, even though it is a good method to prevent kids from seeing horrible levels and comments. The problem is that it is so hidden in the game that no parent is ever going to find it. It is just a button without explanation, and when you see it for the first time, it doesn't look like a parental control button. To fix this, RobTop should add the name below or above the button. 33. Even some songs have no use in the game. Check out my first level for example, Flap PewDiePie, which had a PewDiePie remix as its song, but when you play it, you don't hear anything, because the song got copyrighted and became not allowed for use. The BPM finder for main levels doesn't make a lot of sense. First of all, it is really hidden, and I had no clue it existed before a week ago. And second of all, What is the purpose? Maybe I'm dumb, but the only thing you can do is click and a BPM counter gets shown. So do you manually need to find a song and click on the beat while listening to it? It seems a bit confusing. ENJOYYYY is a nicely decorated level and has a low detail mode, like countless of other levels. Low detail modes make laggy levels less laggy, because when you select it, less objects will be visible. ENJOYYY does this too, but the low detail mode here also does something else that no other level does. It makes the level impossible. At 54%, you always die to these spikes here with no chance to pause it. It recently got fixed. Actually, right now, most low detail modes are also kinda useless, due to them being added automatically by the game, even if it doesn't change anything in the level. 37. The 2.2 editor help page has more than 200 pages, and nobody with the same mind will read it. It is useful, however, and we aren't here to talk about the 2.2 one, but the 2.1 update help file. If you now try to click on it, it leads to an error message, probably because RobTop deleted it. 38. The Twitter logo on the title screen is still the old Twitter logo instead of being changed to an X. 39. The trigger with the lowest usage rate is the reverse trigger, due to it having the same function as the arrow trigger. They both can change the direction of your gameplay, but the arrow trigger is more detailed. So why does this thing still exist? I talked about the level XO before, right? Basically looking like a layout. Look at this video. XO in perfect quality 4K. I don't think this needs much explanation as to why it's useless. RobTop's email support is a mess. 3 years ago he showed the amount of messages he got, and with the game's popularity becoming bigger and bigger, he probably has reached a couple million messages by now. If you think he's going to read yours out of the millions of messages he gets, you're mistaken. 42. Filtering on NA and then clicking on the recent tab doesn't do anything. 43. Achievements are meant to be challenging to obtain, and most of the Geometry Dash ones are, except for the couple of achievements named the jump achievement. 1 million jumps initially sounds like a lot, until you realize there are levels in the game that give you millions of jumps per minute. Calling your level 1E7 or a combination of one number, a letter and then a number again is a waste of time. If you search 1E7 in the search bar, it'll show an ID instead of a level name, so nobody will be able to find your level. When Geometry Dash 2.2 was released, there were a lot of bugs, but the worst one was probably the duplicated icon glitch. Here you can see the 153rd cube and here the 201st cube. They are exactly the same, and RobTop quickly deleted one of them since it was useless to have two of the same icons in the game. This isn't the only bug I'll talk about today. A couple months before the latest update got released, you could find yourself on the top 100 creator leaderboards. People found themselves at the weirdest spots here while they had no creator points or sometimes even no levels. 47. Practice Stay Inside Me is the best and worst song in the game. The best song since it's the practice music that's used in every single level, and the worst one since whenever you use it in your level, the level can't be opened, like this level right here. 48. Most window resolutions in GD. Why would anyone play like this, for example? Our 49th useless thing is the list. No, don't worry, I didn't mean right now, but a couple months ago when they couldn't be played and only showed NA faces. User Zore somehow had an idea to code something in Geometry Dash without a single purpose. What you can see here is a terminal on which code can be written. On this terminal, Zore made it so you could name a level however you wanted, aka using certain symbols that were not allowed by RobTop to be used in levels. The goofy thing is that these special symbol levels can't be posted. So yeah, useless. Somehow, Reddit users always know how to enter my videos, because when I found out about a user breaking up with his girlfriend through Geometry Dash, I was baffled. The chance of getting a girlfriend already is almost zero for GD players, so seeing a post named "I broke up with my girlfriend because of GD" almost put me through a coma. He apparently broke up with her since he screamed loudly in the classroom after beating a level, which she disproved of. 52. Sound and Light is one of the few impossible rated levels. This level is automatic and will never be beaten due to a bug at 12%. The difficulty of the Damascus list is very odd and doesn't say much about the actual list difficulty. It is rated NA and nobody knows the true rating. Every list gets rated based on how difficult the levels are, but RobTop forgot to rate this one or something. 54. People who don't subscribe after hearing this message. JK, you guys still matter. I love you guys. Goodbye.